On the surface, the show All American may seem like just another typical TV show about American football, but it's actually so much more than that. It's loosely based on the life of Spencer Pasinger, who is a former NFL football player. The show itself follows a standout football player from the inner city who's given the opportunity to transfer to an affluent school and play football for that school. It shows the real life challenges that he faced being from the inner city and trying to fit in the affluent school. All American is a genuine and heart wrenching show that brings to light racial injustices and the pressures of drug addiction and socioeconomic comparison in high school population. American sociologist Elijah Anderson said in the iconic Ghetto, the history of racism in America, along with the ascription of ghetto to anonymous blacks, has burdened blacks with a negative presumption they must disprove before they can establish mutually trusting relationships with others. The following clip from All American shows a new ice cream shop that's moved into the town, the inner city, where the main character Spencer is from, and him and his group of friends from his affluent school have gone to buy his brother an ice cream at this new shop. This gives each of them an example of racism and prejudice that they're not used to seeing in the affluent school.
No, it's all good. My apologies. I got you.
Actually, I think it's time for all of you to leave.
What? We just got here.
Well, as the owner, I reserve the right to dismiss you from the premises, so.
Seriously?
Yeah.
We're paying customers. I told my brother I'm buying him froyo. I'm gonna buy him froyo.
Just please go. All right, I don't want to have any problems with you people.
Us people? You mean the black people in the neighborhood you just moved into?
Come on.
We need to see some ID.
May I ask why?
According to the owner of Buncho's, a person in your description was loitering and causing disorderly conduct.
Loitering.
You don't have to answer their questions, Vince. I've already committed their names and badge number to memory officers Bright and Whitner.
A lot of gangs congregate in this area. Are you in one?
Go stand next to Jordan, Dick. Go on. Look, the owner straight profiled us, okay? We didn't do nothing wrong.
But you did get into a fight in the store.
An argument with my little brother doesn't mean I'm in a gang.
It doesn't mean you aren't.
Can we go now?
Hey, watch your tone.
This is unnecessary, officer.
Step aside, son. This doesn't concern you. Now, I'm going to ask you one more time. Where's your ID?
Another example of both racial profiling and socioeconomic differences in the show is when Spencer and another main character, Jordan, who is a biracial student from an affluent community, are driving in a convertible through Beverly Hills, and they get pulled over by two white police officers. Spencer immediately put his hands on the dashboard and knew to comply with all of the orders that were given, whereas Jordan had never been placed in that situation where he was profiled and he was talking back to the police officer and his mother, who is a white attorney in Beverly Hills. He was saying how he was going to call his mother and she was going to sue both of them. And the whole time, Spencer remained silent and maintained his composure, and Jordan was forced out of the vehicle, and he was brought down to the ground by the police officer, and then Spencer was taken out of the vehicle and also brought down to the ground. And you could tell what Jordan was terrified to be there, and Spencer just told him to continue looking at him. Followed by when they had gotten back to Jordan's house, Spencer asked Jordan's father, who is black, why he had never had a conversation with him about dealing with the police and complying with their orders and knowing that it could be very dangerous for him. Sonia Luthar, Arizona State University Foundation professor of psychology, studied children of affluence and as it pertained to drug use. And in her data, she said, we found alarmingly high rates of substance abuse among young adults who we initially studied as teenagers. All American also shows different levels of drug use and how it pertains to all of the communities within the show. Another main character, Olivia, who is the sister to Jordan, suffers with drug addiction. She had been to rehab and is sober, but being from affluent community, it is all around her. They had parties where there was a lot of alcohol and drug use, and it would show her struggling with her drug addiction. In addition to when they went to Spencer's house, the park across the street was run by drug dealers and people in gangs, and it showed that side of it as well. By wrapping up the racial injustices, war on drugs, and socioeconomic comparisons in a show about one of America's favorite pastimes, you bring all of these things in front of people who wouldn't necessarily watch it. So I think that it's good for everyone to take a look and see what all the hype of this show is about.